Fowler Street School in Atlanta was the elementary school they made me attend from kindergarten to 7th grade. I'm not saying I would have chosen another school if I had the opportunity, but I never had the opportunity. Mrs. Bradshaw was the principal all the years I attended. She was formidable. Think Knut Rockne. In 1957, when I was in the 2nd grade, we had an assembly at school. An assembly was when the whole school, not just certain grades, gathered in the auditorium for a special function. On this occasion, I don't remember the reason for the assembly, but I remember it vividly in almost every other detail. It was in this assembly that I got into more trouble than I could ever have imagined for any kid at an assembly. Hank was a fellow classmate. In the most general sense, Hank was a friend of mine. I never sought his friendship, but he seemed to seek mine. As it happened, we were sitting next to each other for this assembly. Hank had a pack of gum. He surreptitiously showed it to me. It wasn't opened. It was juicy fruit. It wasn't illegal to have a pack of gum, but it was a high crime to chew gum at an assembly. Everyone knew that. Hank whispered, "We can't get caught at this big assembly." Hank smiled. Then he opened the pack and offered me a stick. When he pushed the stick up, I could smell the juicy fruit flavor. Juicy fruit was delicious. I hadn't had a stick of gum in a while. The temptation was too great. I quickly took the offered sin. I hesitate to say Hank was evil, but he was. My mother would have said to avoid him. However, he was there, seemingly always there. Hank knew stuff that a kid shouldn't know, and he was always tempting me to join him in suspicious activity. For example, Hank had a pack of gum. How did that happen? A kid never buys a pack of gum. It costs 5 cents. When kids have a nickel, they buy a Snickers bar or a handful of bubble gum. Yet, there Hank was with a pack of juicy fruit. As the assembly stood to sing the national anthem, we both stood and stealthily put the gum in our mouths. It was so good. We jokingly pretended to sing as we chewed the gum. We were so clever. It was a joyous time. Then we got caught. Mrs. Williams, one of the 6th grade teachers, was standing behind us, and she was mad as a hornet. She grabbed both of us in front of the whole assembly and literally dragged us to the principal's office. We were in big trouble. I wasn't exactly sure what we had done that was so bad. Normally, the crime of chewing gum was punished by spitting out the gum and being told not to chew gum again. But this time, we were in the principal's office. This time, we were in big trouble. It didn't take long before we were told exactly what and how serious our crime was. Mrs. Bradshaw entered. She asked if we knew what we had done. We sat silently looking down. She explained that we had shown disrespect for the nation. She said we had failed to rightly regard the contributions and sacrifices people had made to secure our well-being. I started to cry. This was a big cry. The weight of such guilt was too much. I completely fell apart. Hank just looked down. Mrs. Bradshaw gave me a Kleenex and told us to return to class. Our parents never found out about what happened, and I wasn't going to tell them. I was so ashamed. It didn't seem to faze Hank. I guess he was used to it. Hank and I committed the same crime. I was an emotional wreck, and he seemed to think he got away with it. How could this day have turned into something so bad? I started this day with such good intentions. I didn't plot the overthrow of the government. I was a kid in the 2nd grade. I wasn't seeking evil, but apparently evil was seeking me, and it found me. Looking back, I'm amazed that I had such a time of trouble while I was trying to be good. In 1957, I was a kid, but I learned that I was not good at resisting temptation. I can see now that allowing Hank to be in close contact was not a good idea. It's important to avoid situations which could lead to temptation.